In the most remote corners of the planet, there are few places that remain unexplored. Among them, one of the most enigmatic is North Sentinel Island, home to a tribe known as the Sentinelese, which has avoided contact with the outside world for centuries. This story recounts the bold and tragic expedition of John Allen Chau, a young missionary whose determination to convert this tribe led to a dramatic and controversial outcome. John Allen Chau was born on December 18, 1991, in Alabama, but grew up in Vancouver, Washington, where his adventurous spirit manifested through outdoor activities like camping and hiking with his family. This passion for nature led him to create a blog called Rugged Trail, where he documented his extreme experiences, from encounters with cougars to dangerous cliff descents. His personal motto was to seize every good opportunity, not knowing how far this mentality would take him. Throughout his life, Chau developed a strong sense of purpose through Christian missionary work, inspired by figures such as David Livingstone and Jim Elliot. Elliot, famous for his martyrdom in Ecuador, became a role model for Chau, who wanted to follow in his footsteps and share Christianity in places where faith had not yet penetrated. His commitment led him to work with various charitable organizations and participate in missions around the world, from Mexico to South Africa and Kurdistan. In 2015, Chau discovered the Andaman Islands in the Indian Ocean during one of his missions, where he learned about the existence of the Sentinelese tribe. His fascination with this isolated tribe quickly grew, and soon his obsession became a personal mission. The Sentinelese were known for violently rejecting any attempt at contact with the outside world. Since their discovery in the 19th century, the tribe had maintained a firm stance against intruders, even killing those who came too close to their shores. North Sentinel Island had been declared a protected reserve by the Indian government since 1956, and laws prohibited any approach closer than 3 nautical miles from the shore. Driven by his fervent desire to convert the Sentinelese and following the teachings of his missionary organization, Chau decided to embark on a dangerous expedition. The tribe was seen as the last bastion of Satan's stronghold on earth, according to his belief, and Chau was determined to save their souls. He meticulously prepared for his journey, including vaccinate ions and medical and linguistic training. However, his plan was illegal, as he had not sought permission from the Indian authorities. In October 2018, Chau arrived in Port Blair, near the island, and isolated himself in a safe house to protect the Sentinelese from potential diseases. He knew his presence could be dangerous to them, but his determination was unwavering. On November 15th, he bribed 5 local fishermen to take him close to the island. Despite their fears and warnings about the tribe's hostility, Chau insisted on proceeding. The fishermen stopped 1,600 feet from the shore, warning Chau about the danger, but he remained resolute. Armed with a waterproof Bible, Chau took a canoe and headed to the shore. As soon as he arrived, he was met by some of the tribe's men, armed with bows and arrows. Chau, with a mix of bravery and desperation, shouted from the beach, "My name is John, I love you, and Jesus loves you." He attempted to offer gifts, but the Sentinelese showed distrust and prepared their bows. Chau was forced to retreat, but his determination did not waver. He returned the next day, singing worship songs and speaking in Xhosa, a Bantu language, hoping it would change the dynamic. The Sentinelese's response was one of confusion and laughter. Despite his efforts, including repeating words in their language, the tribe seemed to find him more of a curiosity than a threat. Chau, frustrated but determined, continued trying to make contact for 3 days. In a particularly dramatic moment, a young member of the tribe shot a metal-tipped arrow that embedded itself in the Bible Chau carried, saving his life. Realizing the real danger, Chau attempted to return to the canoe but decided to stay after losing his passport, feeling that abandoning the mission would mean failure. In his notes, Chau expressed his awareness of the danger and his fear, but also his conviction that his mission was divine. On November 17th, believing that the presence of the fishermen was an impediment, Chow asked them to leave and return to the island alone. He was aware of the extreme risk and wrote in his journal that he was willing to die for his cause if it was God's will. What happened next remains uncertain. The tribe, continuing their rejection of outsiders, likely saw Chow as a threat. The fishermen, upon returning, saw Chow's body being dragged by the Sentinelese and the next day discovered that he had been buried on the beach. Indian authorities attempted to retrieve the body, but faced fierce resistance. The tribe remained on guard, armed with bows and arrows, and it was determined that any attempt to recover the body would be too dangerous. John Allen Chow's case drew international attention, sparking intense debate over the missionary who defied laws and ethical norms. Many criticized his actions as reckless and selfish, arguing that his presence might have endangered the tribe's health. Additionally, there were questions about whether Chow had been manipulated by his missionary organization, which trained him in simulations of hostile encounters with tribes. Chow's father also criticized the organization, accusing it of fostering extremism and failing to adequately warn his son about the risks. He claimed that the organization's training, which included simulated hostile encounters, likely contributed to his son's imprudent decision. Although Chow's story ended tragically, his presence on the island and his death have left a legacy of discussion about the respect for uncontacted cultures and the limits of religious mission work. North Sentinel Island remains one of the most isolated and protected places in the world, and John Allen Chow's story highlights the dangers of ignoring established norms meant to protect communities that choose to remain isolated. His tragic end serves as a reminder of the complex interactions between human curiosity, respect for cultural autonomy, and the inherent risks of encroaching on uncharted territories.